Have you ever wondered why some people tend to build muscle so effortlessly, while you tend to struggle to build even the most tiny amount of muscle and you struggle to gain weight? Like, I know you might have had this insecurity, and you might have fumbled with this question in the past, and you might still do. But have you ever actually stopped and tried to think about what their day to day looks like compared to your day to day life? And by they, I mean those people whom you think are building muscle effortlessly without any hard work or little to no hard work. Have you ever thought about it? Like, do they actually skip the gym when they feel like? Do they actually go to the gym when they feel like? Are they compromising on the diet? Are they compromising on their recovery? Are they compromising on their training? Are they changing their workout program every now and then? Do you really think that? Like, if you think about it, all the things that I just said that they are doing, if you really think about it, those are the things that you are doing. So, do you really think that the habits that you are doing and the habits that they are doing are similar? That's the reason you think that they are building muscle effortlessly, and you can build even a single shred of muscle. You can gain weight, and maybe you can't lose weight. Come on, bro. Like, isn't it so obvious? You got to change your habits in order to look like them. And the number one thing that I should say is that don't compare your day one to their day 1,000. Like, considering 365 days in a year. So if I'm just rounding off for the sake of this video, so let's say they have been training for 3 years and 1,000 something days, and you just started going to the gym. It's been only 1 week or 1 month, and you're comparing your day 30th to their day 1,000. How that's gonna look, brother? It's preposterous. Like, you shouldn't be doing it because, I mean, compare yourself what you used to look like 1 month ago, what you used to look like 1 week ago. That's fine, but don't compare your day 30th, day 60th to somebody who has been lifting for 3 years, 2 years. Of course, they're gonna look better than you. And when you ask them that, how long have you been training for? If they say 2 years, and if their physique is too good to be true for someone who has been training for 2 years, probably they are obsessed with that, and probably they have good genetics. And even if they don't have good genetics, it's probably they are working their ass off, and they're working and they're prioritizing gym over anything. I skipped birthdays for my lifting career. I skipped get-togethers for my lifting careers. Like I said in the first video of this YouTube channel, that I even went to the gym in a storm and found out that the gym was closed. That's how mad you gotta be if you want to achieve your dream physique. Not just showing up to the gym whenever you feel like, not just showing up to the gym when you have time. You gotta make time for this portion of your life. If getting jacked is all you want, if getting jacked is your priority. So I would say don't compare your progress to someone who has been lifting for years, and don't compare your progress to their progress. Compare your progress to the version of you who you were 30 days ago, 1 week ago, 2 days ago. So yeah, that's my advice to you. And listen, bro, if you can't build muscle, like if you can't actually build muscle, if you are eating enough calories, if you think you're eating enough calories, if you're eating food, if you are getting full, let's be honest, bro, there's no amount of training in this world. There's no workout program in this entire world that's going to get you from 55 kgs to 70 kgs. I mean, think about it. Like, what kind of workout program is going to get you from 55 kgs to 60 kgs? It's almost, and I mean almost, an eating problem. Like, you have to up your food intake. Motherfuckers will come and say to me that, I eat 4,000 calories, brother. Like, what am I supposed to say to that? Oh, sorry, I might have heard 1,000 calories. Might be some hearing problem. Just up your food intake and you will see results. There's this one guy in my gym, and he has an athletic build, 6 packs round the year. His abs are really good, and he has athletic build where you go and see this guy, and at a glance you can say, yep, this guy is into football, or maybe sprinting, or maybe some other kind of sports. And he's been asking me these questions for the longest time. And then whilst having a chat, he was saying that he eats like 3,000 plus calories in a single day. And I asked that, can you show me some pictures 1 month ago, like 6 months ago? And he showed me some pictures. And then it turns out that he was actually gaining weight. is just not as fast as you want it to. Do you see what I'm getting at? You might be gaining weight, but it's not like as fast as you want. If you want to gain weight as fast as possible, you gotta up your food intake. You gotta eat better foods. You gotta eat something that gets digested as fast as possible so that you get hungry again and then you can eat again so that that food gets absorbed into your body again and again. You gotta keep these nuances in your mind. And I see people blaming their genetics for it. I mean, just think about it. Like, what good will actually come by you blaming your genetics, by making an excuse that, oh, I have a bad genetics for my chest, or I might have a bad genetics overall, so I might as well give up in my lifting career. I might not be able to build the dream physique that I always wanted to achieve. Like, what good is actually going to come to that? Do you see what I'm getting at? Like, what good is going to come to that? So, hard work is always the option. If you don't know what to do, get onto YouTube, search exactly what you wanted to know, make a plan, hit the gym. Like, stop overcomplicating things. And no amount of carb or protein intake or supplement or whey protein or creatine or none of that shit will help you if you are not focusing on your training properly. By training, I specifically mean the eccentric portion of your exercises. In the first video, I mentioned briefly about those micro tears that happen in your muscles while your muscles are in the most dilated position of that like particular exercise. So what I mean by that is every motion has two kind of movements. Concentric. So if I'm taking an example of, let's say, dumbbell curls, this is known as eccentric, which means your muscles are getting stretched. This is known as concentric, which means your muscles are getting contracted. And you got to focus on the eccentric motion of the exercise more than the concentric movement of the exercise. Like, forget about the concentric movement, brother. Like, really, I actually said that, like, forget about the concentric movement of the exercise, because the more stretched your muscles are, doesn't matter, any muscle, squats, you do squats for your quads, you do dumbbell press for your chest, you do dumbbell curls for your bicep, doesn't matter, any exercise you're doing, focus on the eccentric portion of the exercise more than the concentric portion of the exercise. If you do that, and maybe if you hold it for 1 or 2 seconds, those are those exact moments where those micro tears happen. So when you recover with proper nutrition and proper diet and proper sleep, those micro tears get recovered into much more bigger and fuller and stronger muscles. That's how you grow muscles. Now do you see, like, why do I keep saying focus on the intensity and range of motion of the workout? This is what I mean when I say focus on the range of motion. Your range of motion should be as perfect, as picture perfect as possible. Now what I mean by that is, maybe you're doing warm-up sets before every exercise. The key thing to remember is that your warm-up sets should be identical to your working sets. Obviously, you're doing your warm-up sets with lower weights, right? And you're doing sets of 2 warm-up sets. Now, when you hit your working sets should look identical to your warm-up sets. If you do that, you will see results in the gym within 2 months if your diet and nutrition and recovery is on point. I know I keep on saying that, but the only reason I keep on saying that is because it's the two sides of the same coin. You can't have only one side and you can have the coin. No, you gotta have two sides, then you can have a single coin. So the coin being the physique and the two sides is training and proper nutrition and diet. You gotta have two sides of the coin if you want to have the complete coin, which is the physique that you want. And again, I want to end this video by saying that I see too many people binge watching fitness content. I mean, they're struggling with their physique, they're struggling with their training, but they somehow enjoy, they have this kind of emotional attachment towards David Lade, towards Alex Eubank, towards Chris Bumstead, towards Lex Little, towards any fitness influencer they find like relatable. They have this kind of emotional attachment towards them and they can't help it but binge their content. And they take advice from every single fitness influencer that they come across, and now they think that why they can grow muscles. Some people will say focus on the contraction position of the exercise more than the dilated position of an exercise. Some people will say creatine is bad. Some people will say creatine is good. My advice to you, like a simple solution, is that pick an influencer, pick somebody who you want to be. And this is just a side note, it might offend somebody, but if there's a guy in the gym that is really good, like no offense to him or her, if a person is in the gym, you've been talking with them for a really long time, you've been good friends, but they just don't have the physique that you want, they just don't have the body that you want. When they give you advice that do this and you will have the physique that you have always wanted, you just stop and look at them. If you want to be like them, take their advice in a heartbeat. If you don't, then just listen to the advice from one ear, and we all know what I'm about to say next, which is take out the information from the next ear, which means you shouldn't take their advice. You should take the advice from whom? From someone whom you aspire to look like. So pick any influencer. I'm not saying it has to be me. I'm not even an influencer. I'm just a guy who has experience in muscle building and seeing guys struggle with their fitness career, with their lifting career. And I'm just a guy who wants to help them. Pick any person whom you aspire to look like, whom you think is giving quality and good information. Pick any guy and just religiously follow their content and follow them, whatever diet they are proposing you to take, whatever training program they are proposing you to work on. And yeah, that would be my last advice. So in order to keep in mind that, focus on the eccentric slash dilated position of the muscle more than anything, and stop comparing your day 1 or day 60th to someone's day 1000, and don't just start digesting any advice that came across your internet feed or like your Instagram feed from some random fitness influencer or those random guys in the gym that looks like a twig or looks like a fat motherfucker, but their physique ain't there. So why you can take their advice? And yeah, up your food intake, up your calorie intake, even if it is 4,000. And I guarantee you it's not 4,000, because for most of you guys, if you're watching this video and if you want to gain weight, if you want to build muscle, if you want to achieve your dream physique, I'm guessing you are skinny, and by skinny I mean maybe 50 kgs or something like that, maybe 55 kgs, and you want to gain weight, let's say till 70 kgs, 75 kgs, or 80 kgs of pure lean tissue. So my advice for you, it would be, you're actually not eating 4,000 calories, because if you would have, you would have seen results. Even if, let's say for the sake of argument, you are eating 4,000 calories, now up your food intake. Doesn't matter if you're eating 10,000 calories, if your body isn't showing any results, up your food intake to 10,300 calories. That is an exaggeration, I know, but just to give an example, that's what I said it. But if you're eating 4,000 calories, increase it to 4,500 calories. If you're eating 3,000 calories, increase it to 4,000 calories. And if you do that, if you train properly, you'll see results for sure. That's why you can't seem to build muscle, while those guys who are focusing on these exact things that I just said are seeming to build muscle effortlessly. In reality, there's a lot of sacrifices. There's a lot of habit changes, like sacrifices in their habits, adopting new habits, sacrificing partying, sacrificing night outs and all of that stuff for the lifting career, and eating much more food than you actually think that they're eating. And keeping all these things in mind, if you actually implement those advice in your life, you will gain muscle. Peace.